everyone. Welcome back to the Ask Rebecca radio show. Thanks for joining me. I have my pup Zeke here who wanted to hang out with me again today. So he's a sleepy puppy though. I hope that everybody had a great week. Mine wasn't too bad at all. And just a couple of quick admin notes. If you have a question or two you want answered without booking an appointment, you can go to my website, AskRebecca.guru, under the Ask a Question Now page. Or if you'd like to sign up for personalized monthly predictions, you can do that under the subscriptions page. And if you'd like to book an appointment with me, you can do that by either emailing askrebecca@gmail.com, or you can text or call me at 407-374-3133. I am honoring my Groupon pricing for any phone, Skype, or in-person appointments. All right, let's get right into tonight's predictions that run through to next Thursday, the 27th. These are general predictions for everyone in areas of work, love, finances, health, and spirituality. So this week, things could feel accelerated. So for me, everything just felt like it was going to be sped up. Things are accelerated. For some of you, it could just feel like the week flies by really, really quickly. It could also show up in you accomplishing tasks more quickly during the week. Some of you will be speeding on the roadways this week, so careful so you don't get any speeding tickets. And I do feel like some of you will be running or exercising at an accelerated rate. Maybe you're, adding some extra weights to your weightlifting routine, or you're running an extra mile, or again, anything to do with acceleration, really. I also feel like some of your children could be moved to accelerated classes, or maybe you yourself decide you're going to sign up for an accelerated type of course, maybe your bachelor's degree or your master's degree. It might be something that you're toying with and decide that you'll do in the future. I also feel like there is an acceleration with transformation. So some of you are in the midst of being purged, and I just feel like it could be accelerated, where now you're going to maybe be dealing with more of an accelerated rate of the emotional purging, right? So I feel like wounds from the past might come up. Things that you've held on to for a long time might resurface, or you may just feel emotional in some way. And I just feel like it involves healing. So that could be an accelerated process. And maybe some of you decide to go and get some energy work done. And those of you that come to see me for the energy work, I feel like it's all going to be accelerated in some way. I do also feel you'll be more honest about things. So integrity, there was an acceleration of integrity that was coming to mind. So I feel like you'll move into deeper states of being honest. Higher morals can be seen. And those of you who aren't in a place of honesty and your morals can be questionable, I feel like those things will be exposed. Or if there's people that you know that are that are not being truthful in some way, again, there feels like there's a level of exposure happening. I also feel like this could play out in the news in some way. I feel, again, the hot topic is going to be integrity. So truthfulness, decency, fairness, morality, all things that have been going on behind the scenes with corruption in our governments, politicians, churches, priests, people in places of power that are supposed to be looking out for the welfare of our people, I feel will be exposed and revealed as to their lack of integrity and truthfulness, decency, fairness, and morality. So you could see some stuff like that surfacing in the news. It's kind of been an ongoing thing, but it will also play out in your day-to-day lives with maybe some people that you know who are not the most truthful. It's also another week of flipping things over, like situations, a perception, a relationship, or an old way of doing things. For some of you, your entire lives are being flipped over, you're being stripped, you're being purged, and there's all kinds of changes that are happening. I feel like you're just going to see more of that happening this week, but it will feel, again, more accelerated. So I feel like that's a really good thing because you'll be moving through it really, really, really quickly. So try not to get caught up in too much of the emotion of it. Now, I also feel like for some of you, dreams are coming true. Things are coming into your life that you've been working hard for or wishing for. At minimum, you'll see signs of them coming. I feel like things are finally coming to fruition for some of you. Keep dreaming big and working towards your goals. This is only the beginning. So, as much healing work and as much purging and as much stuff that we've had to go through that has been challenging, all of that is starting to shift and the balance is coming back where now some good things are going to be happening. I do feel like doors will be closing for some of you this week, so new ones can open. I also feel some people transitioning to the afterlife, and some of you will be handling the affairs and arrangements for these people. There will be renewal for you and others dealing with any tense sort of transition energies this week. Basically, transition is change. Right? So, and change comes in multiple forms. So I feel like it's not going to be a crazy, crazy week, but I do feel like some of you might be struggling way more than others. Work, for those of you employed, some of you could be feeling dissatisfied at work this week. You could try to project this blame onto others or ignore the feeling completely. I advise against ignoring or blaming. Check in with yourself. Maybe it's time to consider a change and maybe something completely different, or some of you just need a break, take a long weekend. I do feel a few of you have been toying with the idea of leaving your current positions. I feel like this week you'll make a final decision. I do feel a couple of you might be a little hasty and you're just like, you know what, F it, I'm out, I'm done, I'm good. And you take off and then you're going to be living your best life. So whatever your case may be, I do feel like it will all end up being a positive outcome. And I see most of you are just moving on to new things. Some of you will ask to take on more responsibilities at work. Some of you need to strongly consider asking to take on more responsibilities at work. I feel like if you do, the boss will see it as a positive thing and you'll get a raise shortly thereafter. I also see a few of you asking for a promotion or asking how you can work your way up in the company so that you can start making some decisions on what you're going to do next. Work, for those of you that are unemployed and looking for a job, not much happening for those of you looking. I do feel like it will be a slower week, even though we've got this crazy accelerated pace. It just doesn't feel accelerated for you. Maybe it's more of an accelerated pace of having to go through the fear and the panic of being unemployed, the stress of that, which will help you work through that, which it kind of sucks, but in the long run, you'll be better. But I do feel like something will be coming along soon for those of you that haven't gotten anything yet. So don't give up, stay positive. Love, those of you in a committed relationship. I feel like those of you in unhappy relationships and that are choosing to stay because you're afraid of being alone, or you're afraid of hurting the other person, or you're just simply afraid of letting go of the familiar, right? It becomes a habit. We're used to being in having people in our lives, and to let go of that would just feel incredibly uncomfortable and scary. But I do feel like you're going to be forced to be looking at this situation again. Maybe you're going to be dealing with some drama this week. Things could turn into heated debates if you're not choosing to confront the situation or the issue or be honest about what you're feeling and what you need. I feel like both of you can choose to work on yourselves and the relationship together. If no one wants to change, then it may be time to move on so you can eventually find a more compatible relationship. But before you cut and run, I always feel it's best to try to work things out. remember why you fell in love, right? Sometimes you just need to rekindle things from the beginning and shove aside all the day-to-day life stuff that's kind of happened in between. I also feel like there could be some flare-ups over money and possibly a little bit of jealousy this week too. I feel like maybe a couple of you might want to go out with some friends. It's been a while, and maybe your partner, gets a little jealous and might throw a little bit of a hissy fit about it. Those of you looking for a love, a few of you singles will be working on your self-esteem this week, even if you're out and about mingling. I feel like your insecurities will be triggered, forcing you to take a look at those issues within yourself and get to the root cause of those insecurities and realize that they're not based in reality. It's just stuff that you see more so than other people. And I do feel like some of you will meet someone through your work or theirs. And for some of you, it feels very, very complicated in the way it almost feels like a coworker of yours who knows another coworker of yours, but that you don't really socialize with, knows the prospective love interest that you would end up meeting through this original person, because they met at like some sort of a work function, and then somehow all of that ends up leading back to you. So it's kind of a weird diluted connection with work, but it's there, and it's going to happen for one or more of you out there watching the show. Finances, I feel like changes in some of your situations, some for the better, some for the worse. The things on the worst side, they feel temporary. I feel like it's more connected to unexpected expenses or loss of income in some way. Some of you will just be in a negative mindset about your finances all week long. You're just kind of in a funk about money, and it's just going to, eat at you all week. I would just say, remember, what you focus on grows. So if you're focused on not having enough money, well, then you won't ever have enough. Health feels like a high stress week for some of you, or at least all the stress you may have been carrying around over the last several weeks and months. I feel like could be causing some physical pain, maybe some back pain, some neck pain. I just feel like the focal point needs to be lots of positive thinking, eating right, exercise, and sleep this week. And spirituality, some of you could be dealing with depression or have been secluding yourself from others. This week, I feel like you're surrounding yourself more with people. It will be beneficial, even if it's going and sitting in a public park somewhere, sitting on the bench, people watching. I do feel like some of you will be fighting change and be resistant to things happening this week, which I feel will only make you feel worse. So if that's you, force yourself to get out and about and mingle. There's no need to suffer in silence or alone. Reach out to people and take steps to feel better. And, feel what you need to, but try not to dwell in your mess, right? Try not to dwell in the emotions. The point is to get it out and let it go. And I just feel like being out in the world, it will do you some good this week. Now, that covers this week's predictions. I'm sending lots of positive vibes your way. I hope it will be a successful week, and I look forward to connecting with you next week. Let's take tonight's caller. I have Morella in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How can I help you tonight?
I just wanted a general reading about everything in my life been happening.
So one of the first things, you feel pretty calm to me right now, but I feel like you might be dealing with some anxiousness or some anxieties, or maybe some fears. I feel like you worry a lot about money, and I kind of feel like you might be holding on to some stuff that you really need to be letting go of in your life. But I feel like there's fear surrounding that, right? It's a fear of, what if I make a mistake, or what if I just feel like you've got to get out of your comfort zone. I feel like you've just been in the same routine. You've been stuck in a rut and not much is happening. Does that sound about right, or would you disagree?
Yes.
Sounds about right. Okay. What about, so I feel like it's kind of multiple areas for you. I feel like maybe what I would consider the work life, whether you're a stay-at-home parent or you have a job, or your own business, or,
I have
a
a
passion.
job, but it's just like, I just feel like
You're
it's
not
not what I
happy,
always
right?
wanted to be, so.
Yeah, I feel like you're not happy at your job. I feel like the job is just, it pays the bills.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I feel like you've got some talent, and I just feel like you're afraid to make the change, right? Because you do stress about your financial situation, which I completely understand. And I feel like you're carrying a lot of the weight yourself. So, like, I understand the fear, but I really do feel you've got to find that belief in yourself and take a leap. Like, there's nothing, I feel like you have nothing to lose for looking around for something else. Because I feel like you have, like, I don't know, I just feel like you want to be doing something more connected to something that you actually enjoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like you don't really like, I feel like there's a couple of people at work that are just difficult.
I'm trying to get along with everybody, and I really don't talk to anybody, so.
Yeah, you're really reclusive. Like, you kind of keep to yourself. I mean, I feel like you've got a good mixture of people there, where you have some people that are more difficult, even though you can get along with everybody, but I feel like they wouldn't be a good crowd for you. But I do feel like there's a couple people that you would actually be able to make connections with outside of work, but it would require you to put yourself out there a little bit.
I don't know, I kind of lost the trust in people, so it's just like, kind of, it's better for me to just keep it for myself. So.
What about you? Are you in a relationship right now? Because I feel like you have some fears surrounding love as well.
No, really, I don't know. I just don't feel like, it'd be good. I'm not happy with what I'm at in life, and I just don't want to get with somebody else either, so.
Right. So you're just kind of stuck, right? A little bit stuck.
Just like, I just want to make my situation better and be happy for myself first and get involved with the other people's life, so other person's life.
Yeah, I just feel like you need some girlfriends. Like, I just feel like you need to have some other social activities where you're finding the balance of, connecting with like-minded people. But then I also feel like you could do some stuff to work on your own, like, self-esteem and self-care and self-love. And I feel like I just feel like you've got to work on your own confidence and just putting yourself out there a little bit more. And I feel as well, I just feel like there's some stuff from the past that haunts you a little bit, some traumas that you're still holding on to, like the wrongs and the wounds of that hurt, which I feel is really important for you to maybe work on doing some forgiveness work. And I feel like that will even just help bring more peace of mind to yourself.
Yeah, I'm working on that, so.
Well, good. Well, do you have any specific questions? Is there anything that you want to ask me about? Like, if you wanted to make a change in work, or any
I've been thinking
kind
about further my education. I just want to know what's gonna happen. Like, I've been thinking starting probably next year to go back again. So.
What is it that you want to go back to school for? You want to work on a master's?
Yeah, but eventually I wanna go in medical school.
So to me, I really resonate with that for you. Like, I feel like you're really, really intelligent and you're very, very intellectual. And I do feel like you enjoy learning a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like going to medical school would be a really good outlet for you because you need to be challenged. I feel like you're not challenged enough in certain situations in your life. And that's what kind of is also keeping you, I almost feel like there's times where you're just bored.
Yes, it's kind of like most of the time I get bored easily, so.
Yeah, because you're not being stimulated in the way that you need. So I really feel like you should strongly consider going to college. I do feel like I almost feel like you would even be able to work it out where I don't know if it would be some sort of a scholarship or I don't feel like you would have to I mean, I feel like you might have to do some loans, but I also feel like there's some free money available to you. You may have to do a little bit of research, but I feel like you would qualify for something that would maybe either cover books or a part of your tuition or something like that. Have you ever looked into that?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you'll qualify. So make sure that if you do decide to go to class or go back to school, which I feel like would be early next year. I'm not sure how the semesters run, but I feel like it would be the beginning of the year or something like that. I feel like you've got to look for the scholarship. There's free money for you somewhere. It may be like in under, like women and I don't know. I feel like it's something specialty, not just like, when you're like in high school and you get like a 4.0 GPA and then, or you're valedictorian and they give you a scholarship or something. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's a specialized kind of scholarship.
Yeah.
What else? How about anything else we have 5 minutes. So is there anything else that you want to maybe, I don't have time for another caller. So we can talk about anything you want to know, anything at all.
How about like my love life? It's just not going anywhere.
Well, I feel like you want love, but at the same time, you're a little afraid of it because of the trust issues. So I feel like you worry that you're going to, what if you find love and then you lose it and you don't want to have to go through that heartache. So I feel like you've got a little bit of a fear block there too. I feel that I feel like there's 3 potential partners for you. And I feel like each one of them is in some different area of your life. So one feels connected to a job or work in some way. The other one feels connected to school. And then another one feels like you would meet this person out and about. But I feel like you have to get out there. Like nobody's going to come knock on your door, right? Like it's you taking a little bit of a chance and putting yourself out there. Have you considered maybe trying some online dating?
No, that's kind of a lot of creepers there, so no.
Well, yeah, I mean, look, there are a couple of creepers for sure, but I feel like, we've got to kiss a couple of frogs before we find our prince. And I feel like there's a little bit of healing work that needs to happen with you. So to me, it feels like it could be accelerated if you go out on a couple of bad dates just to get it out of the way. So then you can relax and then you can just kind of enjoy the process of going out. I feel like, honestly, I don't know if you're going to meet the person you end up in a relationship with online, but I feel like you need to put your training wheels back on. I feel like you have to get back on the bike, right? Like I feel like you have to put yourself out there in some way and shake things up so that you are going to be more open to receive.
Okay.
And I feel like you should need to tell everybody that you're open to dating, because I feel like there's people, I feel like there's, at the job you have now, I feel like there's somebody there that could connect you with a potential date that you may actually be interested in.
I have one more question. I've been thinking to move where I live now, so I just want to move to other states.
So I feel the possibility of you moving out of state is it is very possible, but again, it's going to take you. I feel like you would need to be applying for jobs in a different state. I feel a warmer climate for you. I'm feeling maybe you looking at, I don't know, maybe even Florida or Georgia or California. Like, I just feel like more of a sunny, warmer climate. But I feel you need to, either it could be a connection to school or it could be a connection with work where you're actually applying for jobs. And if you did that and you really hit the pavement hard, I feel like you could move by the middle of next year.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Marilla, for calling in. I appreciate you calling, and I hope you have good luck with school and work and everything else and love. I'm sending you lots of positive energy. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next week. Bye.